I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to be joined by Logan Glaser. He's doing it remotely, playing hurt, but Logan's still going to join us. Logan, thanks so much for joining me on the show today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
All right, Logan, today we're going to talk about the draft that just took place, and we're going to give everybody our rankings, our rookie rankings at all the key positions: quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end. Also, at the end of the show, our big giveaway, which we did on Twitter. If you wanted to register for a TFC entry, a free TFC entry, you could enter on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is RTFS News, at RTFS News. So if you want to follow us, but this is how you could get in this contest for a chance to win a free fantasy championship entry. It's very exciting, Logan. We're going to do that at the end. Tell everybody a little bit about the TFC this year, though.
Yeah, so the TFC is absolutely booming this year. We're already 10% already sold out. It's a lot different than last year with $500,000 going to first place. Individual league prizes, we got first, second, and third place now this year with a larger prize pool. And we've got up to 6,600 teams this year. So excited to get that rolling.
Yeah, $500,000 this year to win that. Very exciting. We're going to pull a free entry there at the end of this broadcast, though. So stay tuned. You can see if you won, if you entered the contest. Again, to do that, you had to go to RTFS News. All right, Logan, let's get into these rookie rankings first, though. Let's look at all the key positions. Let's look at quarterback first. Tell me your top 5 quarterbacks for the rookie class this year.
Yeah, so start off for this year, I'm going with Malik Willis, actually at number 1. Then I'm going Kenny Pickett, number 2, Desmond Ridder, 3, number 4, Matt Corral, and number 5, Sam Howell. I think Malik Willis has the most boomer bust potential out of these quarterbacks. He's got so much potential compared to everyone else, and I really like him in the future for dynasty leagues. I don't think any of these QBs have any value this year. A quarterback that I think you can keep an eye on is Matt Corral for Carolina. Carolina had a lot of QB issues last year. They had started with Darnold, who started off great, but then died out slowly. Then they went to PJ Walker, and then they got Cam Newton as well. Matt Corral had a great college season. He had 49 touchdowns in the last 2 years. He had 19 interceptions, so he has to work on those interceptions. But I like him in the future for dynasty leagues for fantasy football.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Logan. I like Matt Corral as well. I actually had him first at QB for my rookie rankings, but then switched it here last minute. I have Kenny Pickett ahead of him slightly. I think both these guys are going to take over at some point this year. I think Pickett might have a better chance to start sooner than later, though. So my rankings are Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, and Sam Howell. I'll talk about Kenny Pickett a little bit. I like his upside in this offense. He's a very exciting player in this offense because their weapons are so good. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and then they drafted George Pickens as well, who I'm very high on. That's 3 really good receivers. They have a great running game in Najee Harris. So I think Pickett can come in and have some big games in this offense. So I like him the best out of this group. I might take a late round stab at him. The quarterback position's really deep, though. So I'm not sure I'm wasting a pick on any of these guys outside of dynasty leagues. All right, Logan, let's talk about the running back position. Give me your top 10 of this rookie class for this year.
Yeah, so this class is a lot different than last year. So last year we had Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams. This year I'm going with Breece Hall as the number 1. That's kind of the consistent number 1 out of all the running backs this year, followed by Kenneth Walker, Rashad White, James Cook, Damian Pierce, Isaiah Spiller, Zamir White, Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson, and Tyron Davis-Price. So a player I really want to focus on is Rashad White for Tampa Bay. He's got the ability to catch passes out of the back. That's probably one of his best abilities. If Leonard Fournette ever goes down for Tampa Bay, you're going to be looking at Rashad White to be an absolute workhorse for them, getting third down snaps as well. So I kind of like him in my rankings this year.
I'm kind of the same way as you, Logan. Not really big on this running back class. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I got guys ranked higher who didn't go quite as high in the draft just because of playing time. So that's how my rankings kind of play out because of the playing time issue. That's a big thing for me. And some of these players I think have a chance to start sooner than later. Here's my rankings. Number 1, Breece Hall, Damian Pierce, James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Tyler Algier, Isaiah Spiller, Rashad White, Keontae Ingram, Tyler Beatty, and Tyron Davis-Pierce. I want to talk about Tyler Algier. He went a little later in the draft. I like him a lot in this offense of Atlanta. They just have Cordell Patterson ahead of him on the depth chart. I know Damian Williams is there as well, but I don't really trust him. I think Algier could come in and play a role quickly. Cordell Patterson did not have a good finish to his season. I think he's set up more to be third down back because I just don't think he does great between the tackles. Algier was a very good zone runner in college, very productive three-down back. So I think he could come in here, surprise, get a lot of work. He's a guy I'm looking at a lot late in my drafts. All right, let's talk about receivers. Logan, give me your top 10 rookie receivers for 2022.
Yeah, I absolutely love this wide receiver class. For my number one, I'm going Treylon Burks. He's actually my overall number one rookie player out of this entire all positions. I'm taking him over Breece Hall. And then I got Drake London followed behind him, then Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, Chris Olave, Sky Moore, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, and David Bell. A player I really want to focus in on, though, is Christian Watson for Green Bay. I'm going to be taking him near the end of rookie drafts. I think he can be a late-round flyer in seasonal leagues as well. Green Bay really needs targets, or they're going to have wide receivers to get targets from Rodgers this year. And right now, all they have is Sammy Watkins and Alan Lazard. So Christian Watson's going to fill in a huge role that Devontae Adams is leaving, and I expect him to get a lot of targets from Rodgers this year.
I'm like you, Logan. Absolutely love this rookie receiver class. A lot of very good players taken in this draft in the first round. A lot of guys went early, could play big roles right away. And we all know the rookie receivers can have a bigger impact, more so than pretty much any position, in my opinion. Guys can come in and have a big fantasy season as a receiver, I think quicker than most. Here's my top 10. Treylon Burks, Drake London, Chris Olave, Jahan Dotson, Garrett Wilson, Alec Pierce, George Pickens, Jameson Williams, John Mechie III, and Christian Watson. So I'm actually going to talk about somebody that didn't make my list, Velus Jones with Chicago. I love his potential in this offense because their receiver room is dreadful. I think Jones could come in, play right away, maybe start opposite Darnell Mooney. Very talented player, tall receiver, can get up and get the ball. And like I said, their receiver room is really lacking. I mean, Byron Pingle is maybe the starter right now opposite Darnell Mooney. I don't trust him at all. I think Jones could come in, play a big role for Chicago right away. He didn't even crack my top 10. So that's how much I like these receivers as well. A lot of good options, I feel like, in this rookie receiver class to take some chances on late in your draft. All right, so kind of going the opposite now, in my opinion. The tight ends for rookies, not very impressive to me. Logan, what do you think about this tight end class? Who are your top five?
Yeah, last year we had Kyle Pitts as the consensus number one. He went actually up in the third, fourth rounds in drafts, and this year it's completely different. I got Trey McBride as my number one, followed by Jelani Woods, Greg Dulcich, Jeremy Ruckert, and Daniel Bellinger. It's not the greatest landing spot for Trey McBride, landing behind Zach Ertz, but I do think he's the most talented, and I think they're going to share split times, and I think he's going to be a good option moving forward. He had 90 receptions last year for Colorado State, which is absolutely insane for a tight end. The one concerning part with me is he only had one touchdown out of 90 receptions, so we need him to find the end zone more to be successful in fantasy football.
Yeah, I really wish McBride would have landed in a better spot for his fantasy value, kind of like Kyle Pitts did last year. But I don't like Zach Ertz being around there, and he just signed a long-term extension after last season as well. So Ertz worries me, but McBride will be in the mix. I don't have him number one. Here's my top five: Daniel Bellinger, Jelani Woods, Greg Dulcich, Trey McBride, Jeremy Ruckert. So I have Bellinger first, mainly because the Giants are awful at tight end. Ricky Seals-Jones is number one on the depth chart right now, I guess, and I don't have much faith in him. I think Bellinger could come in, play a big role right away, might get the most targets out of this group of rookie tight ends. So that's why I have him number one. I think he could surprise a little bit, might be worth a late round look for fantasy teams. But again, outside of dynasty leagues, not big on any of these rookie tight ends. I think McBride, like you said, probably is the highest ceiling. Woods is intriguing as well in Indianapolis because I don't love their receiver room either, with Mo Alley-Cox as the number one right now. So that's the look at the receiver class here. Logan, the rookie class, I should say. A lot of great options this year. I'm pretty excited to watch these rookies. Should be a good, fun season for some young players.
Absolutely.
Correct? Right. All right. All right. Let's talk about the TFC now. We're gonna spin the wheel for a chance to win the TFC entry. So you can see right here on the screen. You should be able to see the wheel. I'm gonna spin it. All I have to do is click the spin. You're gonna see who wins. All the entries are on there. So good luck to everybody. If you wanted to get in this again, it was at RTFS News. We do a lot of these giveaways, so watch our Twitter feed. So I highly recommend you give us a follow if you're on Twitter, and you can see some of these great giveaways. You ready to spin the wheel, Logan?
Yeah, let's spin it.
All right, let's see who wins this contest for a $300 TFC entry. Here we go.
This could
round
be
and round it goes. Wheel of Fortune.
$500,000 spin.
$500,000 chance spin. All right. So we have Lumanico. I guess I pronounced that right. So Lumanico wins the TFC entry. Congratulations to him or her for the chance to win the TFC this year. They won the entry. They can enter any draft they would like going forward. So you know Lumanico at all, Logan? You know that, familiar with that name?
I do not, but I'll reach out to them and let them know.
Great. Like I said, continue to follow RTFS News on Twitter. We have all sorts of giveaways. If you want to get into TFC, I would do it sooner than later. Like Logan mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it is 10% sold out already. We just opened it up. Already 10% sold out. I guarantee it's going to sell out. So sign up for a chance to win. You don't have to draft right away if you sign up. So you can sign up, get that entry, and then draft at a later date for your convenience. All right, Logan, thanks again for joining me on the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
We'll have to do it again sometime soon, and we look forward to doing a lot of these videos with you throughout the entire fantasy football season. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day, everyone.